when I became famous after the movie came out and the book and the movie, right? And I became very famous around the world. It didn't affect me at all. Like, didn't change me even one bit. Like I you know, not even this much. But that's not the case when I was 25 years old. I reacted very differently to my first introduction to fame and power. And the fame was on more of a local level, you know, in New York City and among my peer group. But people would call me the king and this, and I fucking dumb enough to believe it. Seriously, you know, I was young, and I thought I was above everything because I was so powerful and so looked up to by all these kids who I had come up with this amazing system of training salesmen, a straight line, and it changed thousands and thousands of lives. All these other firms sprang up like mine using my system. So it was like wherever I went, it was people who were like, and it fucked me up. It did. It didn't. I would say it changed me, but it certainly impacted me, and I didn't handle it well. And I think also, you know, you see this happen very often with stars and young stars in Hollywood. You see, like, you know, why does, you know, these young kids are they're 18, they fucking implode. They get famous and they implode. Next thing you know, they're doing drugs and going wild and making spectacles of themselves. Why is that? You know, when someone young becomes too rich, too powerful, too fast, too famous. You know, a big part of it is the fact that, you know, when you exit your adolescence and you enter your adulthood, you know, we all, I think, go into adulthood with certain insecurities and wounds that are still unresolved, that we're still trying to figure out who we really are. And, you know, for me, I had many insecurities, and suddenly, at the age of 23, I'm wildly rich. Every woman is throwing themselves at me. I'm famous in Wall Street. So what happens is when you're in adulthood, as a young adult, and you don't have money yet, you're on the way. So you're striving to make money. You're striving to become a powerful, you know, player in your field. And you don't feel, if you have insecurities, you don't feel right. You're like, well, okay, I shouldn't feel great inside because I don't have what I need. I'm not rich yet. I haven't arrived yet. When I arrive, everything will be perfect. The problem is that when you arrive, you're still there. Your insecurities, the insults, they're all still there, and any hole that you had, that you would justify, saying, it's okay, maybe I'm insecure about some stuff, but it's okay, when I get rich, everything's gonna be perfect. Then you get rich, and nothing changes. You're still the same person, and that's when the panic sets in. That's when you start to realize, holy shit, that, you know, no matter how much I have, I'm never gonna feel all right inside. That's a very, very bad, very troubling feeling, and I had that in some level, that I felt like almost I was, you know, almost like an actor on stage in my own life playing this role when I was still that same insecure person that was an adolescent, right? And it took almost like, you know, the whole rise and fall, and not going to jail, that wasn't, but maybe sort of looking at myself, it was writing my book. Writing the book Wolf of Wall Street, the way I wrote it with brutal honesty, was like incredibly therapeutic and cathartic. And I think that really allowed me to look at myself, at my faults, my failings, my insecurities, my strengths, my talents. And I felt when it was done like I really understood myself, And I had this newfound commitment that I was never gonna ever get in trouble again. There was no way, that was impossible. So this time when I got more famous than I ever thought possible, like globally famous, right? A household name, so to speak, I was ready for it. And I knew I was still the same person, and all the fame was just like, it was just there. It didn't change who I was, maybe better or worse. If people praised me online or bashed me online, I ever read one review. I never read a single review of anything anyone said about me online, because the world could be a very mean place if you're famous. And it allowed me to stay centered. And that essentially is really what happened.